This is a State of the Union address. You don't mind if I cover my little tootsies with socks, do you? It's very comfortable around the air conditioning in the house. So from my Oval Office in my living room, let's talk. Let's all of us talk. Let's have a little talk. Nobody likes to be undermined. Well, let me explain from the get-go. You have trolls out there, and they want to be on top. And when anybody finds out information about them or proves that they're wrong, well, they get kind of persnickety about it. Oh, everybody has an opinion. How many opinions come from one person instead of 30 sock accounts? You don't find a lot of that. Of course, you got your usual runaround trash out there. You got S. Simulcron, Ignite, who, by the way, is actually Warren Hunt in Australia, if you guys were too gullible to not figure that out. Okay, you got Havoc Master, you got Don C, you got Aloe, you got Popeye, you got Roberto Dunn. Just to name a few people, you got even Fazio. What do these people all have in common? They want to be heard, all right? They demand a lot of attention. Now, you also see a lot of names popping up. And through the past year, we've never seen not even half these names before. You don't even know who they are. These are coming from sock accounts. Sock. There you go. That's why I got the sock on. They're coming from sock accounts. See, I do everything for a reason. Yeah, I do choreograph things. From the Oval Office here of the Swamp Mansion. Here in my comfortable, air-conditioned, nicely lit living room. Nice, huh? Mural on the wall. Yeah, it could be worse. You know what I mean? I could be in a jail cell. See what I'm saying? The bottom line of everything that's been going on YouTube in how many years, you've had a group of people that started off and they wanted a lot of attention. And anybody who undermined their attention, anybody who did not follow the boys' club, were deemed to be attacked. This is how all this started. So they have to pick targets. Still don't matter who it is. Johnny Warrior was viciously attacked, wasn't he? He sure was. Peter Van Dever was viciously attacked, wasn't he? Some of the same tactics. People were posting pictures of him on light poles and posts. Sounds familiar? Something like that happened in Hawaii, did. A lot of these people are connected in one way or another. They have one common denominator. People like myself who have fought back. Instead of cowered away, they have fought back with such ferocity that they can't believe that somebody would actually stand up to them. I was the one. This old man that's supposedly, I've reached 80 years old now. I don't know, my age seems to get higher and higher every day. So I'm 80 years old and I'm frail. Well, I'll tell you what, Nico met me. He didn't think I was frail. Okay. Besides that, I don't have to really explain myself, my age or my physique. Mightier is the pen than the sword. Keep that in mind. Mightier is the pen than the sword. That's one thing you have to keep in mind. Now, entertainment is one thing, trauma is another. And I know a lot of people live by this on here. It only gets people in trouble. When I really think about it, I think of all the YouTubers that have been on here the past 8 years. I'm the only person that stood up to every single person on here. Even the elusive Aloe de Vinta, a no-name, no-face coward who has put fear in people on here. Fear. By basically extorting people. That if you don't go with my rules, I'm going to do research on you, and I'm going to find out information on you. Oh, like that's not done, right? That's their power. We're going to release information on you that's going to embarrass you and your family. Cowards. No other word. They're cowards. This is what you work on here. And if you had allowed these people to take advantage of you in any way, then you're just as much of a coward. Speaking for myself, I have stood up for what I believed in at the Swamp Mansion. I stood up where nobody else would. And when nobody else supported me in my efforts to put away a creep, nobody wanted to do anything. I'm their deputy, right? What, did you deputize me? No, I was never deputized by anybody. I had to do all this on my own. This old 69-year-old, or is it 80 now? I jumped up 11 years or so. Okay, this 80-year-old man. Okay. Oh, by the way, I love the editing job on the face. Very creative. I'm not there yet. And I think even if I was that age, I don't think I'd look that way. But I must say, there's some people on here that are even younger than me that probably look about that old. Right, Ed? No names mentioned here, but I could name all kinds of names. Okay, moving on. You know, I've survived over 8 years. I was called every name in the book. Every little, deceitful and cowardly endeavor was tried on me. Never worked. Never worked. Could become smarter than other people. Could be a lot of reasons. I'm not your average YouTuber. I never gave in to this shit. Well, that's not true. That's not true. There was a time that I did actually, they love that word. I created it on here, the vortex. I'm glad my words get around. We all got sucked up, I tell you, sucked up in the vortex. We all did, including myself. But I was smart enough to get out of that vortex, where everybody just continued to be whirlwinded into believing a lot of creeps out there that had a mission. The mission was to try to discredit me or discredit anybody associated with me. Okay? Just didn't work very well. Still here, right? Well, Frank is never going to do anything to anybody to take him to court. Frank's all talk. No, he never owned his house in Hawaii. His relationship would only last 3 weeks. Right? Okay. Yeah. He don't own his house in the Philippines. Don't have any money. I could debate all of those issues, but no need. It's common knowledge now that all of the above are true. I did have a house in Hawaii. Didn't belong to my brother or anybody else. I was committing no crimes regarding the house and codes on the house and HUD and all this crap. This is how convoluted, how sick and psychotic people are here on YouTube. That they have that much time to spend to concentrate on people, and most of them that they never even met. Look, I met somebody today. In a very short period of time, I decided that he's not a bad guy, and I know he sides with Popeye and Aloe and those people in certain ways. But I made my own individual decision based on, making my own judgment from actually meeting somebody. See what they're really all about. Do you find some commonality with the person? See, it's very easy to come on YouTube and spread rumors. It's very easy to come on social media and cause a media frenzy, to call somebody a child predator when they're not, to ruin somebody's reputation. But the majority of these people who do that hide behind the curtains. Some of them don't want to be seen. Some of them even disguise their voice. Some of them go as far as doing AI and a lot of other editing procedures to try to make somebody sound like they're saying something that they would never say in their life. Okay, let's go back to something. If you had half a brain, would you walk down the street and would you say, oh yeah, I go after 14-year-old prime rib? Would you ever say that? If you got half a fucking brain, obviously, those words did not come out of my personal mouth. Why would you go on social media unless you do have less than half the brain, as we know somebody does, who's sitting in a fucking jail cell because he has half a fucking brain or less? He's the only dope to that degree that I've ever seen do something so absolutely stupid that you question the word stupidity. If there's something more exact, more precise, more expressive, more definitive than the word stupid. I'm still trying to figure out that word. What defines somebody that does this? Remember, look in their eyes. There's nobody home. There's nobody home. Nobody's home, and there was nobody home there. There still isn't. It's very vacant. Look in their eyes. You'd have to be stupid to believe that anybody other than that dope who has a half a brain, who's actually finished high school and finished college, is going to go on YouTube and say that they go after 14-year-old girls. None of that shit would ever happen with anyone who has half or more of a brain. Unless they had no brain at all, I could see somebody saying something like that. But even so, you'd have to scratch your head and say, why would they do that? Well, we asked that question too with the dope in jail. Why would he come on camera and say all the things he did? Did he not realize that that could get him into trouble? Did he just didn't believe that anybody would take action against him? Think about that. It's pretty serious allegations that are made when you call somebody a child predator. People have died for a lot less than that. A lot less than that. A whole lot less. Something you never do on YouTube. You don't have to like anybody, man, but you don't do that. You don't go in that direction. No. But I tell you what, and I will rub my knuckles on my chest here and say that I survived eight years. 8 years well, not all, but persecution, ridicule, embarrassment, harassment, antagonizing, okay, humiliation, finger pointing, allegations. 8 years. Still here. I don't know anybody who survived that. And if you do, send me a note. Tell me who that might be. We'll examine that. Most people are cowards that hide behind their cell phone screens or their computer screens. They feel they can dish out anything they want and not get in trouble. Well, one guy has been proved wrong, that he couldn't be above the law. Now he regrets it. He regrets it. You know, there's an information highway out there that is shared by a lot of people, but a lot of people don't know that I share a lot of that information highway. And I know more things about people on here than you would think I know. I just don't utilize that information until I actually need to. I could play the same game. I'd rather not play any games. Childish. I know where people live. I know where some people live that don't think I know where they live. And I know a lot more information about some people on here that they would never believe that I do know. How would I know this? I don't know. Call them my operatives. How did they track down somebody? Exact timing, everything. Perfect operation to get an arrest. Planned out for a long time. Did not happen overnight. It took planning, it took stress, it took time, it took patience. But I achieved what I needed to do. Now, for those that have followed me for a long time on here, that were actually true, I call them tried and true supporters that have stood by my side, and there's a lot of them actually. I thank you guys for that. Now the other creeps, they go into names like S. Simulcrom, like Havoc Master, Don Cunt, By the way, isn't that amazing? Guy's living in Thailand. He spends more time involved with Philippines affairs. Why did he just move to the Philippines? Why is he, why am I living rent-free in his head? A lot of people have problems on here. There's some people have never been back in the country here for 30 years, but they act like they're experts on the Philippines. Yeah, we got all kinds of characters on here. It's a parade of fucking clowns. Every one of these trolls on here, every one of them, they get pissed when they don't get their way, or they can't find fault with somebody. Oh, not that they didn't try, but every time somebody proved them wrong, it gave them, more fuel to go after me or whoever, even more. That's what they did. And they still couldn't get, let's call it, juxtapositioned where they wanted to be. To this day, 8 years later. Why is that? Could be because I'm smarter than most people on here. Could be. Is it luck? No, I don't think it's luck. It's hanging in there. It's getting to know all the players on here. Putting in the time to know the players. To remember things they said. When they don't remember they said it, but I keep it in my head. Now remember, I put 2 and 2 together. Oh, I know who that is now. They may be going under a different name. But just by reading what they write, I'll say, I know who that is. They're not fooling me. Just as you guys have all been fooled. The guy that goes under the name of Ignite. Apparently we got The Walking Dead. Warren Hunt from, I'll show you. That's Ignite. Oh, he's been under all kinds of names. Polar Bear, and he goes under other names too. Now, a lot of you people are thinking, there's a lot of hateful trolls out there. Well, actually, there's a yes and no to that. Yes and no. What people got to understand, there's a lot of people who have these so-called sock accounts, meaning many accounts. So it looks like there's a whole army out there against people like myself or whoever it might be. Untrue. There are people like Peckerwood and, there's all kinds of people going under different sock account names. He's certainly one of them. No matter what he says. Every player on here that you're familiar with the name, I guarantee you, I'm not going to say they have 30 sock accounts, but they do have sock accounts. So it makes it look like, wow, you got a world of people against Frank or whoever it might be. Not really so. They want to make it look that way. Hell, they can come on a live show. They can make comments under one name. They can make comments under another name. It's the same person. Same person. So what is everybody at war on here? With who? Are they at war with themselves and their lifestyle? I think people are even jealous of Nico. I'm jealous of Nico. He's been traveling around, which I'm going to start doing a lot more of. I said, good for you. He's trying to go places while he's out here. A lot of people are jealous of the fact that, he is out here visiting. And they maybe can't. They just can't be out here for whatever reason. See, there's a lot of envy and green-eyed monsters out there. There's a lot of envy and jealousy. That's a personal problem. Don't throw that on me. It's not my job to make sure your life is not lonely. Face the reality. I'm not lonely. I have somebody who's going to be with me for the rest of my life, how long it might be, how short or how long it's going to be. I have done well. We do have a house. We do have a life. We are secure financially. Everything that a lot of the trolls don't have. That's why they attack. I think if you listen to me for long enough, you know I have a damn good heart. I'm great with people. Not trolls. People. Trolls are not people. They're fictitious characters that hide in the dark, in the shadows, and throw insults as weapons. That's what trolls are. My life in the Philippines has been good. I've accomplished just about everything I planned to. I get up to traveling a little bit, sure. But everything I planned to started from the beginning as a concept, as an idea. Having a house in Hawaii, I knew it would be an investment. meeting a Filipina out there in a relationship for 3 years. Sort of had me interested in Filipinos. Then not. I swore I'd never be with another Filipina again. Nevertheless, live out here and be with one for almost 8 years. By the way, it's going to be our anniversary in February. That's right. That's right. We're going to celebrate, what's it going to be, 8 years together in February. When they thought that we wouldn't be together for 3 weeks, right? Dave Phelps, Popeye, and all the rest. How many of you said that? Here I am in my air-conditioned room with pretty cool lighting, nice mural, sitting in my comfortable chair with my cushy little cotton socks on, protect my little tootsies because of that wonderful air conditioner up there that Brevis thinks was broke, coming from a broke mind. I'm comfortable. Look, this is my kingdom. You're right. This is my kingdom. I earned it. I earned it because I did work, despite what you think. And nobody defrauded any government. Nobody did any of the above like that. I worked, and whether I had a disability status or not back then, I don't anymore, because I'm above 66. I'm on regular Social Security. I'm not on disability anymore. But I had to work to get that disability. Didn't come free. Nothing comes free in this life. Keep that in mind. You could label me as an e-beggar on here. Well, if I ever reached out to anybody on here, it was for a really stupid thing that I should have figured would never happen on here. In the beginning, it was a legal fund. Whenever I had any kind of a funding, there's not like a whole bunch of fund attempts on here. Not really. When I tried to help out people in Tisa, I was attacked. If you saw my old videos and you see my interaction with the kids in the neighborhood, the people over in Tisa, that's how Holly got interested, if you don't know the story on that. She was touched by what she saw. Of course, I warned her not to join Aloe and get involved with these people, and she did. And that turned out to be a disaster, didn't it? All right. Even Lauren. Well, Lauren runs her own hate channel now. She's doing very well. I think she's probably done her 20th channel now because she's gotten knocked off about 20 times. You know, evil does not always persevere. And you got to understand that. Evil does not always win. Even the hate crew, how many times they got knocked off? Always made an excuse about it. How do you define a person who puts shows on, like Roberto? How do you define that person? Just a person, like some shows that devote their channel all about me. But what have they done? I think you're familiar with the story. And if you know Roberto's past, Roberto G. Dunn. Yeah. He said that I met my girl because she was a call girl, or that she worked in a bar, or he had relatives in Leyte that knew she was this and knew that. That's what he said. He said that if he saw me in person, he'd attack me, and he also said, I would consider, his exact words, I would consider attacking my girlfriend that you know is Gilda. He said that. Now, how could you sit there and respect a person like Roberto Dunn? He comes on, you know, shiny like a Christmas light. And speaking of justice or injustice, or how would you feel if you were in my shoes? I want to protect my family. If somebody gave out an address that's really wrong, well, mine has been given out. You guys went as far as Google Earth me and every fucking thing else. I've had fucking drive-bys in the past, anyway. And since living here, actually. This is sick-minded people. I'm not a rock star on here. I'm just a regular guy. I don't claim to be any better than anybody else, really. If my situation turns out to be that I'm living better than some people, then applaud that and say, right on, man, good for you. But people like Roberto Dunn, very hateful guy. This is a guy that he devotes his channel everything about me, really. The gall to put my girlfriend's picture on there all the time, try to paint her as a fucking whore, a bar girl that I met supposedly in a bar, or she was a call girl, and that's how I supposedly met her. This is what these people are all about. So you got to think, what's lacking in their lives that makes them behave like this, talk like this? There's always something going on in their life that they're not going to tell you. That's how it works. These are not happy people, they're miserable people. If anybody needs a slap in the face or a brick on the head to wake them up, is Roberto G. Dunn. Okay? They need a voice. They want to be heard. They want to be popular. Because probably back in school, they weren't very popular as a child. They were probably bullied as a child. Well, became a grown-up. Well, same behavior. Same behavior. Or maybe scarred, perhaps, from being bullied and harassed as a child. Who's the survivor on here? Just watching a movie I'm finishing called The Designated Survivor. I'm the designated survivor on YouTube. Deserved the title of 8 years, Designated Survivor. I took every insult, every attempt legally, morally, all the mud balls that's been thrown at me, all the digging of information on me. 8 years of that. 8 years. Here I am. You hear my voice? Here I am. I didn't run away. I never ran away. I faced these cowards in the best way I could. And one of them is sitting in a jail cell. Again, I would never do anything like that. I don't have the capability of doing anything like that. I'm just full of shit. I'm just all talk. Am I really? All you cowards that didn't want to do anything. And you went as far as contributing to these assholes, which makes you even more delusional and maybe psychologically depraved than the individual himself. How do you support a criminal that hurts other women? Why would you support someone like that? You're supposed to love the Philippines. Isn't why you come on here? In this so-called genre? Isn't it? Why don't you respect it? Why don't you respect people? How would you respect someone like this man that's sitting in jail that hurt so many people? So many people. He doesn't belong to be out here. Doesn't deserve to have his freedom at all. I'm the only one. The only one that was able to do it. The only one. Everybody else was a coward. Oh, he always had something to say on my channel. Yeah, go get him. Go get him. What about you? What about you? You didn't do shit. Did you ever send a letter to immigration? Did you ever do anything? Have you ever considered the countless hours I put into this? Not to mention the money?